Welcome back to Rome Boys. Joe the Farmer here. I'm roaming away from home. I'm in College Station, Texas, home of the Fighting Texas A&M Aggies, the 12th man, birthplace of Dude Perfect. But there's something else College Station is known for. St. Mary's Catholic Church. St. Mary's sits in the heart of College Station, Texas, quickly becoming known for its vocations. 93 Aggie men went on to become priests, 18 women in religious life. On average, 9 Aggie men enter the seminary each year. Currently, 56 Aggie men in formation. 6 priests were ordained last year alone. So what's the secret to St. Mary's success? I'm here to find out what exactly are they putting in the holy water. Father Will Stratton graduated from A&M in 2002. Joined the seminary shortly after, ordained in 2009, became the associate pastor at St. Mary's from 2011 to 2013, and is currently the pastor since 2020.
And if there was anything that's in the water here, what's going on here at St. Mary's, when I came here, it was this realization that to be a priest actually was a respectable thing to do, or it was an option. This is what the culture is, that you do discern a vocation. This could be an option, and it comes from hopefully your relationship with God in prayer and listening to His voice and where He's leading and calling you to. So I think that, number two, dynamic priests that were living out their priesthood, and just were great examples of what it means to serve and what it means to be present and what it means to be Christ to others. And I think that was a kind of second thing. And then number three, also too, other guys seeing other guys, other girls seeing other girls who are discerning, and also finding encouragement in those conversations and talking and seeing others that are like them, and maybe asking the same questions, and also kind of sort of having opportunities of, the world's at your fingertips. You're at a great university. You could go get great jobs. A lot of people that you could date and marry and have a beautiful marriage. But then also to the realization that other people my age are also leaving that behind and serving as priests, serving as religious, and maybe I could also do that as well.
What's the secret to St. Mary's success?
2-3 things. Number one, teaching what the church teaches. I think number two, kind of having student leaders. So it's not so much a program that's led by the staff. The staff are kind of mentors and wanting the students to kind of own their faith. It's just this realization that there is more to the world than just money or fame or success. That people are looking for something that's tangible, that's real, that's authentic, and that's even, again, kind of beyond what we could find in this world. Once you kind of get something rolling, it's pretty awesome to even see that there are a lot of students here now that I went to school with their parents and were involved here at St. Mary's with their parents. And there's a lot of students who would go back and kind of tell their youth ministers or their other students that they were in high school with, or that were under them in hhye school, that, hey, there's a great church program over here. You should come to A&M, get plugged in at St. Mary's. And so a lot of it is just a word of mouth, a realization of the great community, the welcome community, the hospitality, kind of wanting and kind of being able to form or find a home here, in a place that one can plug in and encounter God. There's an invitation for inviting people to claim and to own their faith. So your faith doesn't just belong to your parents anymore. It doesn't maybe belong to your high school youth minister, but an opportunity for you to say, well, I've been taught this, but I now want to walk with the Lord, and I want this to be my faith.
I got to sit down with some of the students here at A&M to find out what are some of the struggles they've had in their faith during college life, as well as how St. Mary's has helped them through it.
Probably the number one thing that's been a big challenge is this concept of what the world kind of says we're supposed to go for in life and what the faith says. That's been the biggest challenge, is just the two differing opinions coming in and prioritizing one, but then going to a public university, a very secular view.
That first semester, I really struggled with finding my people here, and I felt like I was I don't know, in a dark room and just bumping into whoever and trying to figure out if this is who I'm supposed to stick with.
One of the hardest things is deciding at the beginning to own your faith, or maybe at the end, whenever you choose to, just deciding to own it and taking action to do that.
Kind of just self-discipline and discipline in your faith, and I feel like it encapsulates all the different little challenges, if that's chastity, sobriety, excellence, pride, kind of all that is just encapsulated in that faith discipline.
Sure.
And how I'm on my own now, If I wake up on a Sunday morning and I wake up at 11 o'clock and I've missed 9 a.m. Mass and 11 a.m. Mass and I don't want to go to Mass, I don't have to go. Like, I don't have to tell my mom I didn't go to Mass. Like, God's the only one that's going to know.
Definitely a lot of challenges just with people around you. I mean, peer pressure is a big thing. And like,
Sure.
I think it's important to know like your morals and who you are as a man before going into certain situations where like you could fall into sin or peer pressure or environments that can just lead to that.
College life, I feel like, can be really isolating. Like, you leave home and no one really knows you. They know like your name, they know your major, they know things like that, but no one really knows your heart.
I guess coming into college, you have kind of the freedom. The first time you have the freedom to kind of do whatever you want to do.
Right.
Really. With that, you're given this ability to choose your faith or to not choose your faith. I would say that probably the biggest challenge is finding a group of friends that pushes you in your faith and that pushes you towards virtue, because on a secular campus it can be very hard.
And so I was going because it was just kind of habitually built into my life.
Okay.
I didn't miss Mass on Sundays. That's just who I was since I was like the day I was born. And so I didn't, but at the same time, like I didn't have daily prayer. I didn't have any of that. And so I think the challenge is to break out of that, like, habitual, just going to Mass and fulfilling the Sunday obligation and actually becoming close with God, making a relationship, becoming a better Catholic in the way you love God and let yourself be loved by God, which is still something I struggle with all the time, is letting myself be loved by God.
Coming in from such a small town to such like a large campus was just like a lot for me. And so my freshman year, I really only came for Sunday Mass and Thursday night for John 15, our freshman ministry.
Yeah.
And that was it, because I was like, why would I be here otherwise? Like, what's the
do?
hype? Yeah, what's going on? Because it was just a lot. Like, I had never been to Catholic school, like, had been to Act Retreat and things, but just didn't know that there's 17,000 people that come here, and you can walk through the halls and maybe know someone, but often you don't. And
I can see that. So how does St. Mary's help you in those struggles?
Yeah, so St. Mary's, a lot of times I hear it get called like a bubble, which I think is like kind of accurate, but I think it also like kind of does a disservice to it, because St. Mary's to me is more like, it's this sanctuary, almost of like, I can come here and like know that like, that outside of like, oh, you need to make money, you need to do this, is like gone. Like, the community here is like founded on like, how can I help this person like grow as close as they can as God, and like that's ultimately what we're here for.
Right.
Is to just seek that relationship, and like St. Mary's is just this place that offers that to you with like no questions asked, where you're coming from, what's been going on, like it's just here to help.
And when I became a leader, I became friends with a lot of the younger classmen, and I was going through these organizations again, but as a leader. And finding that community just like really caught hold for me and was a big like safe place. I found those friends that just breed life and breed goodness and made me want to invoke that discipline. And they were all going to Mass, so of course like I gotta go to Mass. They were going to confession, of course I gotta I'm going to confession with them. Like I know I want to go, and it just helps when all the people around you are so on fire that they just drag you to all these things.
Yes, St. Mary's has been the home. It's been the good soil, where you can actually grow like roots that will last. And it's definitely just been like a safe place. Everyone here is so intentional, and they want to get to know you. Like, they don't care just about your name, but they care about more than that.
The reason that we have these opportunities here at St. Mary's is so we can meet those people. The opportunities themselves, like for example, like at John 15, like we have talks, like spiritual direction talks. And the talks are amazing, and the people who lead them are great people. But at the end of the day, what helps me most isn't the talks, it's the guys that I reflect on the talks with. We went through some of our struggles, we've had. We went through like our wins, our failures, our shortcomings, and all those. And so being able to use these opportunities to grow in friendship and faith and virtue, through those. When you immerse yourself in a lot of people who are on fire, you yourself catch flame. And so I'm at a bonfire here.
It's been so like crucial to have this support here at St. Mary's with like my friends here, but also just with the time in the chapel, and just how I feel like accessible it is to just find rest here.
St. Mary's is great about presenting opportunities for all different kinds of people. Like, we have focus for Greek life, athletes and core people and all that kind of stuff. And then there's John 15 for freshmen, to cater to them, to bring them in. And then there's SMIRT, which is a St. Mary's Youth Retreat Team, which is basically a service organization that goes out and puts on retreats for different churches within like a 100-mile radius or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, there's lots of, we're good about advertising opportunities and just inviting.
Really, the student center is what like kind of brought it all together for me. So like being able to go and study throughout the day and then go to mass at night, or study and then go to confession and then come back and study afterwards. It's a great place not only just to like have the sacraments readily available, but a great place to like meet people as well.
St. Mary's just offers this just like wonderful community in which you can just immerse yourself into and just see this like vibrant faith that is just like given off by each person that you meet here, and then growing from there, not letting that stop by just meeting each other, but like using each other to enter into a deeper relationship with Christ, and to grow deeper in our faith and to grow deeper in prayer. I would say the community really is what is just, it just like gives off this this radiant joy that just is so attractive and brings you into wanting more.
I think it was more Jesus through St. Mary's, of course, but I was a group leader in John 15, so I was in a freshman small group, applied to be a group leader. One of the requirements is 20 minutes of prayer a day as a group leader. And I just didn't know what daily prayer, like I just had no idea. And so I like walked into the chapel, we have adoration here, and I was like, all right, guess I'll do 20 minutes. I just remember sitting down like, all right, what to do, like what do I do? And over time I just like came back because I'm praying because I'm a group leader. And he just like encountered me in a real way in that semester, and I was like knowing more people, building friendship, and my prayer life, my heart was expanding, so it makes sense that it became not such a big place. And it happens.
It got a lot smaller.
It did. And I was like, wow, I understand why people are here all the time.
17,000 Catholic students. It makes up 25% of the population here. The mass attendance is phenomenal. 3,700 on a given Sunday, any given Sunday. And then 4,500 on game day.
Game day weekend, yes, tends to be 45, even close to 5,000. I think we've gotten.
Oh my goodness! Well, I got to ask. I said, if they win, is the collection plate a little more generous?
It's mostly generous because people will stay and come to mass the next morning instead of leaving. Home.
St. Mary's is becoming known as this vocations machine, cranking out vocations.
Definitely for the state of Texas,
Absolutely,
for sure.
absolutely.
And really the country,
the United States, the whole country. What's the secret?
What's the secret?
Yeah. Are they putting something in the incense?
I think we just have like this, we're just on fire. Like I think all of us here are on fire, and I think a large part of it has to do with A&M, the university as a whole. I think that like we're one of the last public universities in the state of Texas, and maybe the country, that like really holds true to like the values that America really like should emphasize, which is like family, faith. And so I think A&M has like created like a breeding ground for St. Mary's to be what it is. And so partially, just because A&M is a great university as a whole. It kind of has a lot of things going for it. Like it's definitely on the like cheaper-ish side if you're in state, and like it's not, as far as the other like public schools in Texas, it's probably the best one.
I gotcha.
You're
not just saying that because you're going.
No, I'm not biased, by the way. But and then I think definitely there's an element of the Holy Spirit is really present here. I mean, we have the largest Catholic student body in the country.
It's the people that are choosing to be devout and to practice, and I think that's what draws people together into each other, and having that core foundation of Christ as the foundation in the center of your life. And that's what draws people here, and that's why people come here for Christ.
I really think it just has to do with the sheer goodness that everyone's able to see in this community. I mean, I can't speak highly enough of the community. I mean, they always say the 5 people you surround yourself around with are the people you become. So if you're spending your time with 100 people around St. Mary's all the time that just breed life and breed goodness, there's no way that you're not going to go out in this world and breed life and breed goodness.
We had a talk given at Connect by a girl named Laura Beth James, and she heard a homily one place that this bishop was saying that some places on earth are thinly veiled, is the term that she used for it.
Okay.
She says there's little pieces of this world that the veil is drawn back to heaven. Like we get small glimpses of what heaven is like. And St. Mary's is one of those places. It's thinly veiled. And so the people here, it's thinly veiled, so they feel that love of Christ so easily, and it comes so naturally. And after you feel that, you don't want anything. Like you don't desire anything else but just that love.
The Lord's presence here is just so different. I feel like it's thinly veiled. St. Mary's, it's definitely a special place. And so they don't make it a secret that vocations are also very important.
Presenting the faith authentically for what it is to people.
Okay.
Like, I feel like there's this culture sometimes in our faith of like, oh, if you're like pursuing the faith, like you've got to be in religious life. Like you've got to be a priest or you have to be a sister, but it's like they present the faith as like, yes, it's serious and it's serious to all of us, but like we're all kids too still, in a sense. Like we can still come have fun, we can hang out, like we can go out to eat, like we can go watch a movie, and like it not just presents the faith as like, if you're holy, you got to be in religious life, and if you're not, then you get married. Like it's like there's so much joy and like holiness that can be like lived outside of going in religious life too, and like that's what brings people in. It just honestly gives what the faith is, and not in a way that's just like solely based on cranking out vocations, but it does by a byproduct of like an authentic community.
Thinking about being a priest, we have Discernment 180, and we have groups for that, and you could actually take those steps to actively discern. And I think that's been huge, is just being able to actively pursue or explore a vocation. And of course, I feel like we're told all the time that as students here at Texas A&M, our vocation right now is to be a student. And I mean, we're in the student center right now. There's so many study centers and opportunities for that. I feel like wherever the Lord is leading you as a student or as a future priest, like the St. Mary's has got the tools to get you there and the people to guide you.
I just think there's no like real way to measure success in ministry. Like sure, if you have 30 priests or 30 sisters or whatever, that shows some sort of goodness underlying happening, but it's really hard to measure the level of someone's relationship with Jesus. They're striving for sanctity and for holiness. It's hard to measure. So to kind of measure it, I think something in this community is the rich prayer life. Like you just become plugged into these organizations that really push like, hey, prayer is the essence of your life. People who have kind of run where you're walking. And that helps so much.
Oh, absolutely.
Enter into my life, not just like, let me sit down and tell you this about the Catholic Church or about the Bible, but it's like, enter into my life and see that I live differently and my heart has been actually like transformed here. And yeah, I mean, there's no like secret why that leads to religious vocations and beautiful marriages.
The secret is the friends that we surround ourselves with. If I'm gonna just be honest with you, like I'm discerning the vocation to the priesthood as well. With that, it was because of my friends, and it was because of the campus ministers here, in the ways that they just walk with students, and not just walk with those students, but allow those students to walk with others, and to just show how like great and how just like way beyond our control that this is, and so that where like a deeper relationship is formed is within my house, within the people that I live with, within pushing each other.
How much has St. Mary's become part of a tradition for these Catholic Aggies?
Yeah, A&M definitely has become part of I would say St. Mary's has become part of the tradition here in Aggieland. here in College Station. So a tradition of living one's faith, a place that one can grow in their faith, they encounter God, very much of a tradition. So people who come back, even though, as we said a few minutes ago, the alumni who come back for football games, they're excited to come back to St. Mary's. Parents telling their children that, hey, I'm sending you to A&M, but I'm really sending you to St. Mary's.
Right. Yeah. Oh, 100%. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know that St. Mary's really existed until I came to A&M. But I meet so many people that their like main reason for coming to A&M is St. Mary's.
That was probably like my biggest draw to A&M was, man, like that Catholic community is insane.
Yeah.
And it was like, holy cow, like there's a ton of people that come to A&M for that Catholic community and that, and how on fire St. Mary's is. I mean, they say how it's just so different, and it's so true. There's nothing like it. They set the standard for all Catholic parishes and faiths.
St. Mary's was one of the main reasons why I came here. I mean, my sister's a year older, so I saw kind of how St. Mary's worked in A&M and traditions through her eyes and her experience, and then I was like, I have to come here. Like, there's no other option.
We have the largest Catholic student population. If we can keep that up, I think it'll like definitely be instilled as a tradition. People here that aren't Catholic, they know, they heard about St. Mary's. Yeah. But I think just like a few more years, like we can really like nail that in as like a tradition.
Well, I mean, I think it really has. I got it for me. That's something my dad talked about since I was a little kid. It's like just St. Mary's, St. Mary's, St. Mary's, St. Mary's, St. Mary's. And even when I got on campus, like I went to my first 9 o'clock mass here. Yeah. And I turned around and went right back into the 11 o'clock mass. Like I was like, this is the best thing ever. Yeah. Like, you know, and I called my dad's like, I did the exact same thing the first time I went to St. Mary's.
I know some of my friends who maybe not only came here because of St. Mary's, but definitely it's a draw to come to A&M because of the Catholic community here.
Like I came to A&M, like my biggest reason was St. Mary's. Like hearing my brother's like involvement in the stories, like I came here for this place. And so I definitely think that it is like, if not already, like became a tradition.
For me, I mean, my entire life has been changed by this place. So yes, I would say it's part of it.
Tradition is something very, very important to the campus of A&M, but it definitely trickles into what it means to be an Aggie Catholic here. And
coming to Mass here at St. Mary's, the realization that it really is kind of heaven on earth. So students not singing just because you have to sing, but because it's coming from a different place, right? A communion, a connection with the Lord. People wanting to receive the Eucharist because they truly do believe that it is the body and blood of Christ and not just, again, something you do on Sunday. So I think it gives me hope that people are coming to understand, what the church really is about and what does it mean to make that a priority or a place in your week, in your day, and people are coming here for, this is my foundation, this is where I find my identity.
What St. Mary's mean to you?
How much time do you have?
Man.
Oh, man.
Wow. It's a loaded question.
Oh my gosh, what a question.
Yeah, that's a loaded question.
That's a packed question.
Yeah. Just about everything it possibly could. It's definitely my home here.
Easy word here. I was gonna try to think of something extravagant, but I would really just say home. Like it's really became a home for me here. Apple Maps already considers it home with all the time I spend here. It's always giving me routes like 10 minutes away from home.
And I've built my life here.
St. Mary's is like truly a home.
Yeah, it is my home for these 4 years that I'm here.
Without being cliche, but it's like, it's definitely a home. It's the first place I've authentically found like a solid like male community around me in my life.
It's very authentic and it's very real to me. I feel like when I come here, I'm not worried about like my classes, or I'm not worried about, even though I do homework here and I get stressed, when I'm doing my homework, but I'm not worried about my classes and what other people are thinking about me and like what the world's telling me to do. Like it definitely feels like very much like home, but it feels authentic and like real and very genuine.
When I'm struggling, I come here. I go back. People always say they go back to their roots. You've heard that expression many times. Well, I go back to my foundation, and this year has become my foundation.
It's comfortable, but also challenging. There's so many of us, and so it's easy to get into a little bit of a bubble, but it definitely is a home that will last. And so St. Mary's is just, it's my home, and it's just the best.
It's where I found my friends for life. It's where I found my faith grow in so many ways.
Well, I'm just so spoiled with these amazing donors that just give to this place because they know what it means for students to encounter Jesus Christ in a whole new way, through each other, through the priest, through the sacraments.
The people being so welcome to open everybody is it's definitely just a place that I can just call home, come sit down and just know that I can go sit in the chapel and just be nothing for a while if I want, or I can just do what I need to do here.
St. Mary's is a place where young Catholics can come together and pursue the Lord, and being able to do that together versus by yourself makes it easier in a way, but also just learning from each other and how to be better people and calling each other higher is one of the great things that St. Mary's provides.
But it's through, a good handshake or a hug with your friend that you haven't seen in a week. It's through those car rides at night, going to an intramural football game. It's the love of Christ, all those things. I see love in all of those, and so that's what St. Mary's has really been to me. It's been my foundation.
I really have found a home here at St. Mary's, and it's been the most assuring thing. I know, initially for me, and I'm sure other people have experienced it too in college, is kind of questioning, am I where I'm supposed to be?
Right.
Did I pick the right school, pick the right major? And all those worries just fade to silence whenever I'm just here.
The people you meet here, no matter who they are, they'll look you in the eyes when they talk to you, and they'll treat you with respect. And there's just a common shared just love for the faith that you can't really find anywhere else. Although that's very present on A&M just as a whole.
It means just about everything to me. I know I would not be the person I am sitting here today, and I know I wouldn't grow in the way I'm going to grow in the next 2 years to be the man I hopefully can be for my future family.
At St. Mary's, I've met my groomsmen. I've met my best man. I've met the people. I've met the people in 20 years. I'm going to be calling every Sunday, just to check in.
It kind of just, it makes you realize that the kingdom of God is way bigger than yourself, and that the Lord is doing something so radical here, and continues to.
St. Mary's does bring a lot of hope, I think, not just for the community here at A&M, but really for the church in the world. And it's kind of neat to see how a lot of other campus ministry programs at public and even private Catholic universities have began to blossom and to grow.
Yeah.
I recognize that this is a great place for people to encounter the Lord.
Yes, it's the place, but it's also the person that makes the place.
Yeah. The people.
Jesus. This place is beautiful for a reason, because the people let him make them what they are. It's not self-seeking, and it's continual process of that interior transformation that makes this place. People say it, we come and we can feel there's just a real depth here and a richness to life that's lived fully on a campus, but separate from the way a college view might look in the secular world. So yeah, it's the place, but it's the people in the place that over time have just let grace do the work of grace, and it's just nothing we can really claim. It's just what he's done.
For the Catholic students in College Station, St. Mary's is more than a student center. It's the place where they've met their friends for life, a place where they own and grow their faith, a place where they study not just for a job or career, but for their vocation in life. It's a place they will forever call home.